Alberta is experiencing an unprecedented number of newcomers from other provinces and countries. While Calgary often steals the spotlight, there are more and more people turning to Lethbridge as their next destination. In this video, I'll compare what these cities have to offer to help you make the right choice on which place to call home. Calgary is the largest city in Alberta and had a population of 1.4 million in 2022, which increased by over 9% since 2017. Lethbridge is the third largest city in Alberta, and in 2023, the population was 107,000 people, which increased by around 8% in the last 5 years or so. Both cities are growing at a proportionally similar pace. The city of Calgary is 825 square kilometers and is vastly larger than Lethbridge, which only covers an area of 127 square kilometers. The average commute in Calgary is 26.5 minutes one way, and in Lethbridge, it's 16.8. This 10-minute difference might not seem like a lot, but on average, workers in Calgary are spending an extra 150 hours just in their car on the way to work. I should add that it's rare in Lethbridge to have traffic, and in Calgary, it's something that drivers have to face daily. Lethbridge and Calgary are both located in southern Alberta and are only 200 kilometers away, so you would expect the weather to be similar. I might be a bit biased, but I do believe that the weather in Lethbridge is better. First of all, winters in Lethbridge are warmer than in Calgary. On average, the temperature in Lethbridge is around 3 degrees warmer. In fact, Lethbridge is the warmest city in Alberta during the winter. Lethbridge also gets slightly less snowfall, 112 centimeters yearly compared to the 128 that they get in Calgary. So a combination of slightly less snow and slightly warmer temperatures means that the snow will melt quicker. Both Lethbridge and Calgary are incredibly sunny places and on average get 333 days of sunshine. However, Lethbridge gets more hours of sunshine because it's farther south. The sunniest city in Alberta is actually Medicine Hat with 334 days of sunshine, beating out both Lethbridge and Calgary by 1 day. Lethbridge gets more days with strong winds than any city in Canada. However, Calgary is the windiest large city in Canada, so there's really no escaping the wind in southern Alberta. However, as annoying as the wind can be, it does have its benefits, which I go over in great detail in my Weather in Lethbridge video. Calgary's public transportation system is a combination of light rail transit known as the C-Train and buses. There are currently 2 C-Train lines with a third one being built. A lot of the stations have park and ride lots, meaning you can drive your car to the nearest station and park your car there for the day. Neighborhoods that do not have access to the C-Train are covered by an extensive bus system, so it is entirely possible to live car-free in Calgary, but because the city is so spread out, it requires more careful selection of where you live and where you work if you don't want your commute to be crazy long. Lethbridge is more of a car-dependent city. However, the city does have a bus system that covers most areas, and it is being expanded to the growing needs of the population. The main drawback of using buses is that travel times are generally longer compared to driving a car. The smaller size of the city means more people are choosing bikes as their mode of transportation. All of the buses in Lethbridge are equipped with bike racks on the front, and the city is quickly expanding bike-friendly lanes. Both cities have Uber and recently got e-bikes and e-scooters that provide more options for people who don't drive. Calgary has been known to rely on oil and gas industry for its jobs and economic growth. In the recent years, the city has become a hub for a lot of tech companies and startups that help diversify the job market, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are moving to Calgary. Lethbridge, on the other hand, relies more on the agricultural sector, with the other biggest employers in the city being the education, healthcare, and government sectors. Because these industries historically have been very stable, it's no surprise that Lethbridge has one of the lowest unemployment rates in Canada. Lethbridge is becoming more diverse, with people looking to work remotely in a more affordable city. The median household income in Calgary in 2020 was $118,000, and in Lethbridge it was $102,000. So you could be making more money in Calgary. However, the cost of living in Calgary is higher than that in Lethbridge. If you look at just the average home price in Calgary, it was $540,000 in 2023, and in Lethbridge it was $343,000. A 2-bedroom home for rent in Calgary is on average $2,084 per month, and in Lethbridge it's $1,409. So even if you do manage to land a job in Calgary that pays more, you might not have more money in your account at the end of the year. Property taxes are generally lower in Calgary. In Lethbridge, your property tax is going to cost you about 1.09% of your home value. So on a $300,000 house, you're looking at $3,270 per year. The average property tax in Calgary is about 0.75%. Of course, you won't be finding a $300,000 detached home in Calgary. So the tax you pay per square foot of living space is actually pretty similar. A lot of other expenses are basically the same, such as the cost of groceries, insurance, and going out to eat, except for home prices, which I touched on briefly, but we'll be going into more depth later in the video. It's no secret that Lethbridge has one of the highest crime indexes in the country. These numbers can appear frightening, but they do not give the full picture of what it's like to live in the community. In a report released in 2023, Lethbridge has cracked the top 10 list of the safest cities in Canada. This was because of the low number of violent crimes, a sufficient police force, and a high crime detection rate. According to the 2022 Crime Statistics Report, Lethbridge saw an 8% decrease in the crime severity rate since 2021. There has been more than a 19% reduction in overall crime since 2019, and I've received messages from concerned people asking me if Lethbridge is dangerous, and I can assure you it's not. Also, I have to address Methbridge. You may have seen this word used to describe Lethbridge, and it's literally because Leth and meth rhyme. There's not an overabundance of meth in Lethbridge. There are hard drugs in every major city in Canada, and both Calgary and Lethbridge are no exception. Calgary's crime index is lower compared to Lethbridge. However, last year there was a 5% increase in crimes in the city compared to 2021. There have been studies that link higher density housing with an overall decrease in crime, and Calgary definitely has a higher amount of high density housing. Last year, 29% of all homes sold in Calgary were apartments, while in Lethbridge it was only about 10%. Obviously, it's easier to steal a bike out of someone's backyard than it is to steal it off the 5th floor of their balcony. If you enjoy spending time outdoors, both Calgary and Lethbridge have a ton to offer. Calgary is right at the doorstep of the Rocky Mountains. The city is between 1 to 3 hours away from some of the most incredible national parks, such as world-famous Banff, Yoho, and Kootenay. The city itself has lots of parks and green spaces. The Bow and Elbow rivers that run through the city offer great hiking spots, fishing, or tubing down the river in the summer. Calgary has one of the largest pathway networks in the world with over 1,000 kilometers of trails. Lethbridge has the Old Man River that runs through the city, and in the summer you can float on it underneath the iconic high-level bridge. The city has plenty of parks and green spaces, both in the river bottom and generally within a 10-minute walk from most homes, regardless of where you live in the city. Lethbridge was ranked second in Canada for green space, as 23.3% of the city-owned land is parkland. Lethbridge is just over an hour's drive to the Rocky Mountains and Waterton National Park. If you want to drive a little further, you can bring your passport and visit Glacier National Park in Montana as well. These parks might not be as well known as Banff, but they are just as incredible and definitely less crowded. What makes Lethbridge and Calgary very different is the lifestyle that each city has to offer. Lethbridge is often described as a small city, big town. What that means is despite being a city, Lethbridge maintains a strong sense of community that gives that small town feel. Life here is less hectic and offers a more relaxed lifestyle compared to Calgary. While smaller in size compared to other major cities, you'll still find everything you need in your day-to-day life in Lethbridge. The city has some amazing local restaurants and a decent-sized shopping mall with over 100 stores and more boutique shops downtown. With online shopping and Calgary only being a 2-hour drive away, Lethbridge residents have everything they need on their doorstep. Lethbridge offers plenty of events throughout the year and even has a WHL team, and let's not forget about the third largest YMCA in North America. Calgary, being one of the largest cities in Canada, has more recreational opportunities and amenities and provides a more dynamic urban experience for those living there. From fine dining and shopping centers to large box stores and most importantly IKEA, you'll most likely find everything you're looking for somewhere in the city. Calgary has a thriving downtown with top-rated restaurants, live entertainment, galleries and museums and shopping. Calgary also has an NHL team as well as a WHL team and is home to the second and first largest YMCA in North America. Life in Calgary generally is more fast-paced, but the experience might be different depending on if you live closer to downtown or in one of the suburb areas. When it comes to home prices, there's one clear winner here, and it's Lethbridge. The average home price in Lethbridge in 2023 was $343,000, and in Calgary it was $540,000. If you break it down by property type, these are the average sold prices in Lethbridge for 2023. Detached homes were $387,000, apartments $179,000, townhomes $256,000, and half duplexes were $299,000. In Calgary, detached homes were $720,000, apartments $306,000, townhomes $407,000, and finally half duplexes at $603,000. So you can see across the board, Lethbridge is significantly more affordable than Calgary. Homes in both cities have increased in value over the last 10 years. Shocker, I know. But Calgary only increased over the last 4 years. If you bought a home in 2014, you would be underwater on your mortgage all the way until 2021, when home prices finally exceeded that of 2014 levels. This is because between mid-2014 and early 2016, the global economy faced one of the largest oil price declines in modern history. As previously mentioned, a lot of Calgarians have jobs in the oil sector. These Calgary-based companies laid off a lot of their workforce, and people were not buying as many homes as they previously were. At the same time in Lethbridge, homes actually increased in price, albeit not substantially. So Calgary is generally more of a boom and bust city, while Lethbridge is more steady Eddie. Although recently both cities appear to be booming with the increased amount of people coming here from abroad and other provinces looking for more affordable cities to live in. If you learned something or found this video useful, please like the video, it really helps out my channel. I think that Lethbridge and Calgary are both great cities, and I hope this video helped answer any questions you have. I'm a realtor in Lethbridge, and I have a lot more videos about Lethbridge on my channel, so take a look at those and reach out to me anytime so we can come up with a custom plan to make your move as easy as possible.